What's up? This is That Dirty Spoon from the IWC. I've been gone for a minute, but I'm back. And this is the wrestling recap for May 16th, 2012. First off, we've had a couple of Raws since our last show, and I like to say, those were some of the most abysmal Raws I've seen in a long time. That does not mean they were not at least partially entertaining. I'll begin with 2 weeks ago, Paul Heyman made his return to the WWE. Now, I've always been of the idea that Brock Lesnar works really, really good when he's not talking and he's just beating people up. Paul Heyman as a mouthpiece for Brock Lesnar is about a week too late. Unfortunately, they let Brock Lesnar talk, and now we all know he can't talk. When he was cutting that long, drawn-out promo with John Laurinaitis right before he had that match with John Cena at Extreme Rules, it was apparent that Brock Lesnar skipped every single promo class in his 8 years away from WWE. But Paul Heyman does return with a statement from Brock Lesnar 2 weeks ago saying that Brock Lesnar quit. That was probably the highlight of Raw 2 weeks ago. Well, that and there was no John Cena on air. He was live via satellite, which turned out to be not really via satellite, but that's neither here nor there. Anyways, 2 weeks ago, and then at this last Raw, again, both Raws in the last 2 weeks started out really good with talking segments. And they got the crowd really hyped, and they had a really good match. I say really good, probably the best match of the night. And then it just went downhill on both weeks, followed the same convoluted, just awful nosedive into the ground towards the end. It was really aggravating. But again, Paul Heyman's return to the WWE is positive as long as he can talk for Brock Lesnar, who is working limited dates according to his contract. This has someone who has credibility in the industry, a firm connection to Brock Lesnar, and is one of the best talkers in WWE just by opening his mouth. The promo he cut on Triple H this past Monday, again, a highlight of Raw. That's but the other things that happened, Dolph Ziggler getting a cheap win off of Kofi Kingston to set up some kind of one half tag team champs lose, half tag team champions win. That has been done to death, and the fact that Dolph Ziggler can't beat Kofi Kingston clean is just further telling the crowd to ignore probably one of the best wrestlers they've got on the roster. I mean, they got bumps like nobody's business, and everyone in the business, every time Dolph Ziggler gets in the ring with someone, he makes them look like $1 million. And that is a quality WWE really needs right now. And oh man, that promo from Big Show. The WWE has completely destroyed Big Show's character. I do not see how the Big Show can come back as anything at all in the next 4 months. The big guy crying and on his knees begging to keep his job, and then just to get fired unceremoniously by John Laurinaitis. And then right after that, we jump into a match with the tag team champions bouncing down the ramp and Brodus Clay dancing in the ring. I mean, and it's like, oh, the Big Show just got completely, utterly emasculated and humiliated on national TV. But somebody call my mama. I mean, whoever was putting this show together needs to seriously, they need to either dyslexic or they need their medication, because this was put together like a train wreck. I mean, it wasn't just what happened on Raw the last 2 weeks. It's how the shows were put together and when they chose to release certain information. I mean, it was just bad from top to, well, okay, after the first segment, from there, it was all downhill. There was just no saving it. Ugh. And that was Raw the last 2 weeks. And another thing I would like to mention, this is I'm not saying this is totally bad, but the build up to the Over Limit pay-per-view has obviously sometime in the last 2 weeks it has shifted from CM Punk and Daniel Bryan Danielson having a 5-star match to John Laurinaitis facing John Cena. So, and if John Laurinaitis loses, he loses his job, which is clearly setting up for John Laurinaitis to win that match. But I'll get to that in my Over the Limit preview show. Anyway, on to SmackDown. And there's only been one SmackDown since our last show. And I have to say, they're previewing new stars and, more importantly, new tag teams. That is one of the things that's getting me really excited about the WWE right now. The new tag teams. They've got the established tag team, well, tag team-ish, of Vicky Guerrero's stable of Dolph Ziggler and Jack Swagger. Now, Swagger is a perpetual I'm not gonna say speed bump, but he has lost a lot of matches in WWE. And Dolph Ziggler has also been portrayed as kind of a, I won't say jobber, because Dolph Ziggler is better than that. I mean, they've got jobbers. Ryback destroys them on a regular basis. Those guys are jobbers. All I'm saying is they're an established guys that have been tag teaming together, and they really key off of each other, and they've got a great look. And with Vicky Guerrero coming down, it's the start of something that made us start really slow has really started to build up. Kofi Kingston and R-Truth are the new tag team champions. Epico and Primo are together, and then Titus, who's this? Hold on, let me pull up their names. Titus O'Neil and Darren Young they premiered as a tag team recently on SmackDown. They've been in NXT for a while, but again, another group, and they've already established that they're not just being thrown together. They want to be tag team champions, and they think the tag team champions are going to get them millions of dollars. Now, I gotta say, the comedy of their act is apparent, but the fact that there's this new tag team, another new tag team on the scene, and a couple of established tag teams on the scene, even Zack Ryder and Santino Marella are tagging together on again, that is much more of a comedy duo than anything. But anytime a couple of guys that kind of have a little something going together, tagging together, you never know what could come out. Hey, that's how we found the New Age Outlaws. All I'm saying is these new tag teams means that WWE, somebody maybe told them, hey, you guys have tag team belts, why don't you use them? You know, put a couple guys who maybe aren't at that top level, but get really good crowd reaction when they come out. Put them out there together, some things happen. See, that's the kind of thing that's actually getting me the most excited about the product right now. But again, that's just me. Also, Sunday on the TNA front, we just had our TNA pay-per-view sacrifice. For some strange reason, YouTube ate my video. I don't know what happened to it, but I did do a video a couple weeks, well, I said a couple weeks ago, but like the Monday of last week. And unfortunately, a lot of my predictions are wrong, so I'm kind of glad I ate it. But I have to say, coming out of that pay-per-view, the only title that changed hands was the TNA Tag Team belts. We got Kazarian and Christopher Daniels were able to take the belts off of Joe and Magnus. My buddy Ricardo, he's not surprised. I was a little bit surprised, but I mean, I thought that Joe, again, I'm not quite his reasoning being that Joe and Magnus didn't draw, but I mean, I don't see how Frankie Kazarian and Christopher Daniels are going to draw. But hey, I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. It happens. But Gail Kim kept the Divas belt, Devon kept the TV belt, and Robert Roode kept the heavyweight belt. Although I think Robert Roode's probably going to drop the heavyweight belt when TNA moves from 8 o'clock Central to 7 o'clock Central, or 9 o'clock Eastern to 8 o'clock. They're having a time slot change sometime at the last Thursday of this month, and I think that's going to be as a big draw. Robert Roode's probably going to drop the belt on that episode of Impact, because TNA loves to make those belts drop on free TV and then defend at the next pay-per-view. But hey, who knows? Anyway, that's pretty much everything that's happened the last couple of weeks. I'm going to avoid going into my rant about, why the why I was very disappointed with the Big Show, what his upside is, which is almost nil at this point. TNA having this angle with Abyss's brother that makes me want to grind my teeth. I mean, I gotta say, the honeymoon period after WrestleMania is over, and we're back to the summer lull. So hopefully, CM Punk, Bryan Danielson, I have faith that will steal the show at Over the Limit, and it will make it worth the money that I'll be giving my friend to order it, because I will not be paying full price for that pay-per-view. But me and a buddy, and maybe whoever might call some other people, watch it. Take the sting out of that, because I believe this is not going to be a particularly entertaining pay-per-view. But hey, what do I know? This has been That Dirty Spoons from the IWC. I would like to say thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.